Welcome back to LinguaWave English.
Hello, everyone.
This is the place where we don't just teach you the mechanics of the language.
Yeah.
We help you actually live it.
That's the goal.
I am thrilled to be back in the studio with you today.
And I am just as happy to be here. We are so glad you are catching the wave with us today.
So, my friend, look at the calendar. We are officially in the future. It is 2026.
It sounds like a sci-fi movie date, doesn't it? 2026.
It really does. I feel like we should have flying cars and robots by now.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, it's just us, drinking coffee, trying to get through the week.
Well, some things never change.
True. But I have to ask, how is your New Year energy holding up? We are a little bit into the year now. Has the battery run out?
That is a dangerous question to ask me.
Oh, no. That sounds ominous.
Honestly, it's complicated.
Complicated how?
I think there's a specific word for the vibe right now.
Yeah.
It's a mix of excitement, because, hey, fresh start, but also this, creeping sense of dread.
Dread. That's a strong word. Why dread?
It's the psychological pressure, I think. I was just reading this article about something called temporal landmarks.
Temporal landmarks. Okay, that sounds fancy. Break that down for us.
It does, but it's a pretty simple idea.
Yeah.
So temporal just means related to time.
Right.
And a landmark is a big object you can see from far away, like a mountain or a tall building.
Okay, I'm with you.
Psychologists say that dates like New Year's Day or your birthday or even just a Monday morning, they act like landmarks in our minds. We treat them as fresh starts.
Oh, I totally do that.
We separate our past self from our future self.
I absolutely do that. I always say, old me ate pizza and watched TV all night. New me only eats kale and reads philosophy.
Exactly. You divorce your old self, you think the new me is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with 2026, or, any new year, is that about 3 weeks in, the old you wakes up.
And the old me wants pizza.
The old you wants pizza and wants to scroll on his phone for 3 hours. And that's where the dread comes in. It's the collision between who we want to be and who we actually are.
I feel that completely. It's that social media pressure, too. I open my phone, and it feels like everyone else has it all figured out.
Yes.
New year, new me. If I haven't mastered Mandarin and trained for a marathon by January 2nd, I feel like I'm falling behind.
Oh, falling behind.
Yeah.
We need to pin that phrase for later. That is such a heavy feeling.
It is very heavy. But I want to share a story about how this actually played out for me recently, because I think I really hit a wall.
What happened?
Well, I had this moment, a real turning point. But before I tell you mine, I heard you had a bit of a moment yourself on New Year's Day.
Oh, well, please don't remind me. But yes, I did.
Do tell.
I actually had a funny, or maybe tragic, start to the year. I sat down on New Year's Day feeling very, very motivated. I wrote down this massive list. I think I had 20 goals.
20 goals! Wow, that is ambitious. That is a lot for one human being.
It was way too ambitious. I wrote them all down. Learn Spanish, run every day, read 50 books. I felt so proud of myself just for writing the list.
Of course. The planning feels like an achievement.
It does. I thought, this is it. This is the year I become perfect. And then I decided to watch a video on YouTube to help me. The video was called How to Master Self-Discipline.
That sounds like a good idea. In theory.
In theory, yes. But do you know what happened?
I have a bad feeling about this.
I fell asleep.
No way! You fell asleep watching a video on Discord.
I did. I was out in 5 minutes, woke up 2 hours later with drool on my face.
That is the most relatable thing I have ever heard. It's like your brain was saying, I will change my life, but first, I need a nap.
Exactly. But, when I woke up, I realized something important. It was actually a kind of wake-up call for me.
Oh.
I realized that big lists, they just don't work for me. They just make me tired. I realized I don't need a list of wishes. I need a turning point.
A turning point. I like the sound of that. And that is our topic for today, right?
Yes. Today, we are doing a deep dive into this very concept of the turning point.
And for our listeners, let's define that. A turning point isn't always some big movie moment. It's not always, dramatic music and fireworks.
No, not at all. Usually it's quiet. It's a specific moment where things actually change. It's different from just a dream or a wish. It's an honest decision. It's the moment the car actually changes direction.
I like that. Before we get into the details of how to create one, I want to take a moment to appreciate you, the listener. We've been reading your comments on the LinguaWave channel.
It has been incredible. The stories you're sharing with us and with each other are just so inspiring.
It really has. So many of you wrote to us saying things like, I'm finally learning words without a dictionary. That just makes me so happy. That is our mission here. We want you to learn real English, growing naturally through conversation, not by memorizing lists.
So if you're listening right now, thank you. You are part of this community. Now let's get into the deep dive.
Let's do it. So you mentioned a wake-up call. I want to talk about the problem first. For me, my turning point happened because I realized I was living on autopilot.
That's a great word, autopilot.
Yeah.
Let's unpack that for our listeners. This is, a B1 level word, but the concept behind it is actually pretty advanced neuroscience.
Oh, we're doing neuroscience today. I'm ready.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
So when we say autopilot, we're usually using a metaphor from aviation.
Right.
From planes.
Yeah. I picture a pilot in a plane. They push a button and the computer flies the plane. The pilot stops, actively working. The pilot stops choosing, the plane just goes.
Exactly. And we can do that in our lives. But I want to explain why we do that. Is autopilot always a bad thing?
I would assume so. It sounds kind of lazy.
Actually, it's a survival mechanism. Your brain uses a massive amount of energy. It consumes about 20% of your body's energy, even though it's, a pretty small organ.
Wow, 20%.
Yeah. So if you had to consciously think about every single small action, lift left foot, move forward, place foot down, breathe in, breathe out, you would be exhausted by 9:00 a.m.
So the brain builds these little scripts or shortcuts to save energy.
Exactly. It builds loops. Neuroscientists call them habit loops. There's a cue, an action, and a reward.
Okay.
So you walk into a dark room, that's the cue. You flip the light switch, that's the action you can see. That's the reward. You don't think about the switch. You just do it. It's automatic.
That's great for light switches. It stops me from bumping into walls. But it's terrible for things like Instagram.
Precisely. This is where autopilot becomes a trap. Living on autopilot means you are moving through your day, just responding to cues. Your phone buzzes, you pick it up, without ever really engaging your executive function.
You're not the pilot anymore.
You're not the pilot, you're the passenger.
That describes my life perfectly before this moment. My calendar was full. My phone was full of notifications. Ding, 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 all day. My brain felt like a web browser with 50 tabs open.
Oh, I know that feeling.
You know that feeling when your computer slows down because you have too many things open?
Yes, and the little fan on the laptop starts spinning really loud.
And everything is frozen. Yes, that was my brain. I felt like I was running as fast as I could, but at the same time, I had this deep feeling that I was falling behind in my real life.
Falling behind. There's that phrase again. And it's everyone else is moving forward, and you're just staying in the same place, or maybe even moving backward. It's a really heavy feeling. It creates a lot of anxiety.
It's very heavy. And I want to tell you about the specific moment that changed things for me. This was the catalyst. This was the thing that broke the spell.
So what pushed you over the edge? What broke the autopilot?
It was a Tuesday night, just a normal Tuesday, nothing special. I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth. And I sort of mindlessly looked at my phone. I decided to check my screen time. You know, the feature that tells you how long you used your phone that day.
Oh, that feature is dangerous. It is very, very honest. It doesn't care about your feelings at all.
It is brutal. I looked at the number, and my friend, it wasn't minutes, it was hours.
Hours, how many?
4 hours.
Wow, 4 hours.
I realized I had traded 4 hours of my one life that day. And what did I get for it? Absolutely nothing. I was just scrolling through videos of strangers, people I don't know, people I will never meet. I wasn't learning English. I wasn't talking to my family. I was just consuming.
That's a shock to the system.
It was a huge shock. I looked at myself in the mirror and just thought, where did the time go? Because the phone's tracking feature, it doesn't lie.
That is such a powerful moment. It's painful, but it's powerful because you cannot fix a problem if you don't see the problem.
Yeah.
You took the pilot seat back just for a second there.
Exactly. And in that moment, I did something. I drew a line in the sand.
A line in the sand. I love that idiom. Let's visualize it for everyone. Imagine you're standing on a beach. The sand is smooth. You take a stick and you draw a straight line in front of you. And you say, I will not cross this line.
Yes. It means a limit, a personal boundary that you refuse to cross. I just said, enough. I decided right then that my phone would not be the first thing I saw in the morning, and it would not be the last thing I saw at night.
That's a strong rule, a really good one.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, how did you actually do it? Because saying it is easy. Doing it is hard. Just using willpower is usually not enough.
You are so right. Willpower is like a battery. By the end of the day, my battery is empty. If I have to rely on willpower, I will fail. So I used a small rule. I didn't say I will never use my phone again. That's too big. That's not doable.
Right. That would be setting yourself up for failure.
Exactly. So I made one tiny change to my environment. I put my phone charger in the kitchen.
In the kitchen, not in the bedroom.
Not in the bedroom. So when I go to sleep, the phone has to stay in the kitchen charging. When I wake up, the phone is still in the kitchen. I have to physically get out of bed and walk to a different room to see it.
Ah, you know what you did there. You used a psychological concept called friction.
Friction, like in physics class.
Yes, exactly like in physics. In physics, friction is the resistance that one surface gets when moving over another. If you slide on ice, there's low friction. You move fast. If you slide on sandpaper, there's high friction. You move slow.
Okay, I follow.
So in habit formation, friction is just the amount of effort it takes to do something. You made the bad habit, checking your phone in bed, have high friction.
Because I have to get out of my nice warm bed, walk down the cold hallway, turn on the bright light.
Exactly. And your brain is lazy, remember. It wants to save energy. It says, ugh, that is way too much work. I'll just go to sleep instead. You made the good habit sleeping have low friction.
That makes so much sense. And the result was amazing. But I have to be honest, the first few nights were weird.
How so?
I could literally feel my hand reaching for the nightstand, reaching for the phone that wasn't there. It was like a phantom limb.
The withdrawal symptoms?
Yes. But because the phone was in the kitchen, I couldn't grab it. I just rolled over and went to sleep. And it totally changed my morning energy. Instead of scrolling in bed for 20 minutes, I had to get up.
I love that. It's simple, it's effective, and it uses environment design, not just willpower. My struggle, however, was a little different. You struggled with autopilot and distraction. I struggled with stalling.
Stalling. Okay, that's a word we use for cars, isn't it? When the engine just stops working.
Yes, but for people, stalling means delaying. It means making excuses to avoid starting something. It's a really sneaky form of procrastination.
Oh, I do that too. I'll do it in 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes somehow becomes 5 years.
My specific problem is something we can call procrastination through preparation.
Wow, that's very specific. What does it mean?
It means I plan too much. It feels like I'm doing work, but I'm not actually doing the work. For example, I would plan my English study schedule in a beautiful spreadsheet. I would create a color-coded calendar for the gym. I would plan all my healthy meals for the week. I even bought the special glass Tupperware containers.
But that sounds so productive.
It feels productive. That is the trap. Your brain actually releases dopamine, the happy chemical, because you feel like you're achieving something. But you haven't actually done anything real yet.
You've built the perfect map, but you haven't started the car.
Exactly. I would spend all my energy on making the perfect plan. And then when it was time to actually study or actually go to the gym, I was tired. Or the plan was just too big. It was too perfect. And I was scared to fail.
I think a lot of English learners feel this. They buy the fancy textbooks, they download all the apps, they organize their desk perfectly, they buy the nice pens, but they don't actually speak.
Exactly. They are stalling. They're afraid to start and make mistakes. And for me, there was an emotional trigger behind it all. It wasn't just laziness. It was comparison pain.
Comparison pain. Can you explain that?
It's that feeling you get when you look at other people, especially on social media. You see someone on Instagram who seems to have it all together.
Right. Their house is perfectly clean. Their English is perfect. They exercise every single day. Their plants are all alive.
Yes. And when I look at them, I feel like a failure. I feel like I'm not good enough. So I tell myself, I need to be like them. And then I make a huge, perfect plan. I say, I will exercise for an hour every day. But that's impossible for me right now. So I fail. And then I feel even worse. It's a horrible cycle.
So we have two big problems here. My problem was mindless scrolling, this autopilot state. Your problem was perfectionism, the stalling. What was your solution? Did you draw a line in the sand too?
I did something a little different. I needed to stop the perfectionism. I needed to break that all-or-nothing thinking. So I recorded a voice note to myself.
A voice note, like on WhatsApp or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just for me. It was only about 15 seconds long. I want to hear it in my own voice. I said, stop trying to be a superhero. You are not a superhero. Just have a minimum winning day.
A minimum winning day. I really like this concept. It sounds very different from New Year, New Me.
It's the complete opposite. New Year, New Me tries to change everything at once. The minimum winning day is a plan so small that your brain cannot argue with it. It lowers the threat.
What do you mean by lowers the threat?
Well, when you look at a big goal, like study English for 1 hour, your brain's fear center, the amygdala, it might scream, danger, that's hard, that's potential pain, and you run away. You procrastinate. But if the goal is tiny, the amygdala just stays quiet. It doesn't see a threat.
So can you give us specific examples? What does a minimum winning day actually look like?
For me, it was just three things, three very small things. Number one, 10 minutes of English. Number two, 10 minutes of movement. And number three, one small cleanup.
That's it, just 10 minutes.
Just 10 minutes. For English, that could be listening to one part of a LinguaWave deep dive.
Good choice.
For movement, it could be a short walk around the block or even just stretching on the floor while listening. For cleanup, it could be as simple as making the bed.
It feels almost too easy.
That is exactly the point. It has to feel easy. We want to overcome something called activation energy.
More physical.
Last one, I promise. Activation energy is the minimum energy required to start a reaction. Think about pushing a heavy car. The hardest part is that very first push. Getting it moving from a dead stop is heavy, but once it's rolling, it's much easier to keep it moving.
So the minimum winning day is just that first little push.
Exactly. And once you do your 10 minutes of English, you might feel good and decide to do 20. But you only have to do 10 to win the day.
And this helps so much when life gets crazy.
Yes, because life has potholes.
Yeah.
Life is difficult. You will have stress. You'll have busy work days. You will have days where you feel sick or just tired. On those days, you cannot do a 2-hour workout. You cannot study grammar for an hour, but you can probably do 10 minutes.
I see. So the goal isn't to do a lot. The goal is to not stop, to not have a 0 day.
Precisely. It all comes down to a key philosophy: consistency versus intensity.
Let's break that down. Consistency versus intensity.
Intensity is doing a huge thing once, like running 10 kilometers on January 1st and then never running again for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Consistency is walking for 10 minutes every single day for a year.
And in language learning, consistency is always the winner. There's no debate.
Always. It is so much better to listen to English for 10 minutes every day than to study for 5 hours once a month. Your brain needs that daily repetition to build those neural pathways. You just can't cram a language.
So the minimum winning day helps you stay consistent because the bar is low enough that you can always step over it.
Yes. And you feel like you are winning every day. And that feeling of winning gives you momentum. It builds on itself.
This is so practical. I want to help our listeners apply this right now. We've talked about the theory, we've talked about friction and activation energy. Now let's talk about the practice. We want to help you tell your own turning point story.
This is a very useful skill. If you're doing an exam like IELTS, or you're in a job interview, or even just talking to a new friend at a coffee shop, people love to hear stories about change and growth.
Yes. Tell me about a time you overcame a challenge. That is a classic interview question. It basically means, tell me a turning point story.
And we've developed a simple 5-step frame for telling this story. I want our listeners to imagine their own story as we go through this.
Okay, let's walk through it. Step 1 is the before.
In this step, you describe the problem. But you should use an honest feeling. You can say phrases like, I felt stuck, or I felt really distracted, or I was feeling overwhelmed. Don't just list facts. Share the emotion.
Right. Step 2 is the moment.
This is the turning point itself. Describe the scene. Where were you? What did you see? For you, it was being in the bathroom and seeing your screen time. For someone else, it could be, then one day I looked at my bank account, or I saw a photo of myself and didn't recognize me. You want to paint a picture.
Step 3 is the decision.
This is the action part. Use the phrase, I decided to. It shows you took control. It shows agency. For example, so I decided to draw a line in the sand, or I decided I had to make a change.
I like that. Step 4 is the small step.
This is so crucial. Don't say, I decided to change everything about my life. It sounds fake and unbelievable. Say what you actually did. So my first step was just to study for 5 minutes, keep it small and doable.
And finally, step 5 is the after.
Yes, share the result. Now I feel more in control. Or now I am slowly getting better at. Show the positive change.
Okay, let's demonstrate this. I'll try to use this frame for a different example. Let's talk about relationships. A lot of us struggle with being a people pleaser.
That is a great topic. A people pleaser is someone who says yes to everyone because they want to be liked, even if it makes them tired or stressed.
Okay, so here's my story using those 5 steps. Step 1, the before. Before my turning point, I was a massive people pleaser. I said yes to every request from my boss, my family, my friends. I felt totally and completely exhausted.
Good. I can really feel the exhaustion there.
Step 2, the moment. Then one day, I looked at my calendar and I realized I had 0 hours for myself on the weekend, not one single hour.
Ah, that's the wake-up call, the visual.
Step 3, the decision. So I decided to start saying no politely. Then, step 4, the small step. My first step was just saying no to one extra weekend task, just one.
Perfect. Small, doable.
And step 5, the after. Now I have more time for my own priorities like my English studies, and I actually feel more respected by people.
That was perfect. It's clear, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it uses great vocabulary. It really shows growth.
I hope our listeners can try that. Maybe even pause the audio right now and try to say your story out loud. It's a really good practice for fluency.
But my friend, we have to be honest with them. We're making this sound very smooth. Step 1, step 2, success.
Yeah.
But real life is not that smooth.
No, not at all. Turning points are not a straight line.
We need to do a reality check here.
Let's use that road metaphor again. The road to change has potholes.
A pothole, for our listeners, is a hole in the road. If you drive your car into it, it really shakes the car. It might even damage the tire. It's a bump in the road.
And the road has U-turns. Sometimes you realize you're going the wrong way and you have to completely turn around.
I want to share a recent failure, actually. We just talked about my minimum winning day. Well, last week, I failed. Miserably.
Really? You missed the 3 things, even the 10 minutes of movement.
I missed everything. It was just a bad day. I was stressed from work. I didn't do my movement. I didn't do my English. I just sat on the sofa and scrolled on my phone for 2 hours. The very thing you were just talking about.
The autopilot came back to get you.
It came back. It was waiting for me. And then the harsh voice started talking in my head.
Oh, I know that voice well. The little voice in your head that says really mean things.
Yes. It said, see, you failed. You are not disciplined. You're a fraud. You should just give up. It's a very, very persuasive voice. It wants you to quit.
It's a liar, though.
It is a liar. But in the moment, it feels so real.
Yeah.
So what's the counter strategy? How do we fight that harsh voice?
We need a new concept.
I had to tell myself something. I said, I don't need a perfect streak. I need a quick restart.
Quick restart. I love that. You know, in apps like Duolingo or fitness apps, they love the streak. They say, you've done 100 days in a row with all the fireworks.
And that can be good for motivation until you miss one day. When you break the streak, you feel like you lost everything. The counter goes back to 0. It's so demoralizing.
But you haven't lost everything. You still have all the knowledge in your head from the last 99 days. Your muscles are still strong.
Exactly. So the strategy is this. If you slip up, do not wait for next Monday. That is the stalling trap all over again.
I'll start again on Monday. No, Monday's way too far away.
Start again at the next meal. Start again in the next hour. If you eat a bad breakfast, eat a healthy lunch. Don't write off the whole day just because of one mistake.
That is so freeing. It just takes all the pressure off. You were always just one small decision away from being back on track.
Yes. A turning point can happen on a Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. It doesn't have to be January 1st.
This has been such a rich conversation. We've covered psychology, habits, friction, activation energy, and some really fantastic English vocabulary.
I think it's time for our favorite segment.
It is time for the LinguaWave Word Tour.
This is where we review the powerful words and idioms we used in our deep dive today. No dictionary fights here. We just want to explain the nuance and feeling of these words.
Let's start with the first one we mentioned, drifting.
Drifting. Okay, imagine a boat on the ocean. The engine is off. The boat is just moving with the water, with the current. It has no direction. It's just floating.
And in life, drifting means you're letting the days just pass without a plan. You're not steering the boat. You're on autopilot.
Next word, slip up.
A slip-up. This can be a noun or a verb to slip up. It just means a small mistake.
And this nuance is really important. The word failure is so big and heavy. Slip up is light. If you eat a cookie when you're on a diet, that's a slip up. It's not a global tragedy.
Next word, doable.
Doable. This comes from the verb to do. It means something is able to be done. It's possible.
We use this when we talk about goals. If you say, I will run a marathon tomorrow, and you have never run before, that is not doable.
But I will walk for 10 minutes. That is very doable. It's realistic.
Next up, that important pair of words, consistency versus intensity.
We talked about this a lot. Intensity is high energy for a short time, like a sprint. Consistency is just showing up every day, even with low energy, like a long, slow walk.
And remember, in language learning, consistency always beats intensity. Always. Next word, harsh.
Harsh. This describes an attitude. It means being too mean, too strict, or too severe.
If a teacher yells at a student for one small mistake, that teacher is being harsh. Don't be a harsh teacher to yourself. Be a kind one.
And the last word,
stalling.
Stalling.
Yeah.
Making excuses to avoid starting. It's like the car engine dying right when you want to go. It's procrastination disguised as productive planning.
Now for the idioms, we had two really big ones today.
The first one was a line in the sand.
Your absolute limit, the boundary you set for yourself. I drew a line in the sand and said no more overtime work. And the second one, a wake-up call.
An event that shocks you and makes you realize you need to change. My nap was a wake-up call. Your screen time number was a wake-up call.
And I really hope this episode can serve as a gentle wake-up call for our listener.
I hope so, too.
As we wrap up this deep dive, we have a challenge for you. We don't want you to just listen. We want you to live it.
Don't let 2026 just happen to you. Don't just drift through the year.
We want you to select just one area from what we'll call the turning point menu. Here are the options. Number 1 is time. 2 is energy. 3 is money. 4 is English. And 5 is relationships.
Please listen to this warning. Do not choose all 5.
If you choose all 5, your brain will panic, you will stall, you will probably fall asleep watching a video about discipline.
Pick one. Just one area to focus on. And then pick one tiny rule for that area.
Maybe it's, I will listen to LinguaWave for 15 minutes a day. That's a great one for the English category.
Or maybe it's, I will put my phone away at 10 p.m. That is a perfect one for energy.
Whatever it is, make it doable. Make it a minimum winning day.
And when you slip up, because you are human and you will slip up, don't be harsh with yourself. Just give yourself a quick restart.
We really want to know what you choose. We want to be part of your support system.
So, here's our call to action. Leave a comment below this episode. We want you to finish this sentence. My turning point in 2026 is.
For example, you could write, my turning point in 2026 is my health. I decided to walk 10 minutes every morning.
We read every single comment. It inspires us more than you know. You are part of this community, and we are so proud of the progress you're making every single day.
Thank you for letting us be a small part of your journey. I'm your friend, wishing you a great week.
And I'm here cheering you on every step of the way.
Keep riding the wave. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.